What's up, Deeban? How you doing?
Good man. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah. Great to hear. Let me get Steve on as well.
Cool. This isn't live now, right? Or are we in the?
No, we're live actually already.
Okay, cool.
So don't say anything that can be used against you at this stage.
For sure, man.
We should be fine. How are you doing? You're in New York now, right?
In Vegas. I was in New York.
Vegas now. Cool.
Yeah, for business. So New York last week for a few conferences and networking, then Vegas here to catch up with some connects I made last month, and then we'll head to San Fran next week. A few other cool. So yeah, on the road.
Yeah. Are you traveling a lot now?
Seems like
to a couple of places now.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It was Dubai, then Canada, then New York, Vegas, back to Dubai, and back again. So
I remember when we were at the family office summit. You were there.
Yeah.
Made some great connections there, and I just know that since then you've been going from place to place. And cool. I cannot say too much to the EstateX family, but some great things have been cooking up with these travels. Some great connections are being made, especially something that's gonna definitely drive us forward later in the future as well. So these travels are definitely for the right cause.
Definitely worth it for sure. Yeah, definitely worth it.
Yeah, I can imagine. Just pinging Steve, just getting on it. All right. Otherwise, we'll just get this show started, and Steve will join shortly. So, ladies and gentlemen, today we will be doing a little bit of a deep dive into the RWA Launchpad that we're launching, and also Deeban here, who's a very, very good and close advisor of ours. He's also playing a massive part in driving this Launchpad forward. Because Deeban has hey Steve, how you doing?
Hey guys, what's going on?
Can't complain. We're just doing a small intro. I was just saying to Deeban, Deeban is a very good, very close advisor of ours, as everyone knows. And Deeban has also a rich history with Launchpads, and he knows all the ins and outs. He's been in the industry for quite a while. So we'll talk about that as well. So I'll just give the first.
Sorry to jump in. Everyone, check out the vlog part 3 as well, featuring Deeban. We're in Dubai and we had an amazing impromptu conversation, and you guys will get to know a bit more about Deeban, who he is, what he thinks about EstateX, why he invested into EstateX, why he's one of our advisors. And it was personally one of my favorite vlogs as well. So one of the moderators, if you guys after the event put it in as a non-pin post, that'd be amazing. You can learn a bit more about Deeban and our relationship.
100%. Steve, I'll let you do the intro words about what you want to say, and then we can dive right into getting to know Deeban a little bit better for the audience that is new, his experience with Launchpads, etc. And then we'll jump into the deep dive of the RWA Launchpad itself, the name reveal, the logo reveal, timelines, some unique features that we have, and everything around it, how it enhances ESX and the ecosystem. So can't wait. So Steve, I'll pass on the word to you.
Sounds good. Well, first of all, Deeban, thank you for jumping on such short notice as well. I see you got your coffee in hand. I know you've literally had limited sleep. Deeban's in Vegas at the moment and with some events. So he's literally like 8 hours behind us. But just shows the dedication that he has for us in EstateX. You know, he's always willing to ride for us at a drop of a hat. And we know we've got amazing quality people like him. So thank you very much for doing this, and pleasure having you here.
My pleasure, man. I'm glad to be here. For sure.
No worries. And as you can probably see by my eyes, by Bart's eyes, we haven't had much sleep. We've literally probably been working just as hard, if not harder, post-launch as we have pre-launch. Yes, the launch was great. And yes, there was obviously lots of positives. There was lots of lessons and so on and so forth. But, you know, as far as we're concerned, the job's not done. As far as we're concerned, we haven't even got started yet. As far as we're concerned, this is just the beginning of the beginning. It's not about where the chart is at now. It's not about where the chart was at yesterday. It's not about where the chart was at after launch. It's about what are the guys doing behind the scenes? What are we building? What are we developing? Because guys, when we announce what we're going to be announcing over the next couple of weeks, next coming months, all these things in the roadmap start to actually stack up and come to fruition. We're not watching what the chart's saying. The chart is going to follow. You know what I mean? You've seen other projects when they make these big announcements where they have these big milestones, they go into the billions overnight. That's what we're focusing on at the moment. We're not focusing on short term and a certain sentiments. Obviously, it's important, but we're focusing on building a proper business. This is what we came to do, and we are right on track. You know what I mean? If anything, in some ways, we're actually ahead of schedule as well. I can't believe we're talking about launching our own Launchpad so soon as well, which is just absolutely phenomenal. So thank you to the EstateX family for riding with us, believing with us. And just want to let you guys know that we are working hard, tirelessly behind the scenes. I don't even know if you guys are going to be able to see this. No, you probably won't be able to see it. But yeah, my Fitbit says 2.5 hours sleep, you know what I mean? And we live for this, you know what I mean? So literally, it's go time. So as you guys know, we're building an L1 RWA blockchain. We're also doing the Launchpad. We're doing so many other things that's going to be over the next, probably say 2 to 3 months, put us as that main authority within RWA. There's a massive opportunity at the moment. You know, there's certain people in RWA, and we know that obviously there's certain people doing it better than others. And obviously the reasons why EstateX is so successful and seen as one of the most sought after RWA projects on the planet right now. Same with our RWA blockchain as well. We had a really important conversation with one of our advisors earlier today. We and Deeban have this similar conversation. This is such a crucial, amazing, phenomenal time. Normally in business, if you've got an opportunity to really explode into a niche or a business, and there's so much demand, there's normally so much competition. There's normally so many people you need to fight to get to that #1 spot. And if there is a situation where there's no competition and it's quite an easy road to that #1 spot, there's not really that much demand. With RWA tokenization, where the world is at the moment, the world is set and right for RWA, not even just from a crypto point of view, but you go to Web2 property companies now. Oh yeah, I've heard of that blockchain thing. Oh yeah, I'd like to get onto it. everyone's ready for this now. And you're seeing what's out there. You're seeing the competition that's out there on the L1 RWA blockchains. They're not doing what we're doing. They haven't put the years in that we put in. They haven't put the foundations. They don't have the partnerships. They don't have the roadmap, what we're going to be doing over the next 6 to 9 months, even the next 3 months as well. That number one spot is there for the taking. We have the exact plan to do it. And there's, humbly speaking, there's not that much competition for us. So it's a very, very, very amazing opportunity for EstateX and ESX. So as you guys know, we're doing our RWA blockchain slightly differently. And I'll get in how this links in with the Launchpad. We're doing our RWA blockchain slightly differently. We're doing it in a way where we're incubating and bringing the real world into RWA. So yes, we're doing all the other things that the RWA blockchains are doing. R1 is going to be faster. Obviously, Graham's obviously spoke about our superstar CTO. Shout out to Graham, spoke about how our blockchain is going to be better from a technical point of view. And from a commercial point of view, we're almost like that one-stop shop, bringing in people that they can basically jump on our legal umbrella and our licensing side of things. We spent years trying to get that sorted. We've got it sorted now. Other people don't need to jump on our marketing, jump on with our amazing community and the power of the EstateX family. Shout out to you guys every time. Our platform, that seamless transition from Web 2 to Web 3, that remix between Tinder and Amazon, swiping, clicking, adding to cart, making it like online shopping, so simple that Sharon, the 30-year-old single mom, can use it as well. So we're making it so easy for these real estate companies, these sports teams, these music artists, these computer data centers, sports leagues, to be able to integrate into blockchain. It's a phenomenal. But the one thing that we were missing was funding. If we can do their legalities, we can do their marketing, we can do their white label platform, that seamless transition. But the one thing that was missing was funding until now. This is where the Launchpad comes in. This is where the EstateX Launchpads come in, and we'll reveal, that some logos and names and branding shortly as well, which we can't wait to share with you guys. But it's now funding. So not only are we being able to do the legalities, the incubation, the blockchain, the licensing, the platform, white labels, and really be able to bring these people in seamlessly, frictionless into Web3, but now actually we can raise funding for them as well with the help of the EstateX family, but also a new little bit of alpha for you guys. We've been approached by some amazing VC partners of ours already, and they have VC networks. They want to actually be part and partner with us as well. They said that we know that you guys are quality, you guys have had a great launch. We know that you guys are going to be instilling your knowledge onto other people to make their projects ready to be a proper RWA project for launch as well, just like you did with your own project. And we want to be investing in the private round of these projects. We want to be investing in the seed round of these projects. We want to be incubating these projects financially as well, which is phenomenal. So now we have financial backers that's going to be supporting the Launchpad side of things as well. So as I always say, not saying this to impress you, but to impress upon you, we are putting everything in place to be that authority. You see what we're doing, having the #1 RWA blockchain, having the #1 RWA Launchpad. We're going to be announcing our soon-to-be #1 RWA podcast, where we're going to be having some amazing guests on there as well, from A-list celebrities to the co-founder of USDT to Steve Craggs, the former CEO of Remax England and Wales. And let's find out, let's get the tea. Why did you quit? Why did you quit Remax to come to EstateX? We know the surface story, but there's a lot of deeper layers to that. And you guys are going to be really bullish with his response and his trust in EstateX as well. So yeah, so I just wanted to summarize. Everything is on track. Everything is ahead of track. And, the things that we're going to be launching out, in a couple of weeks, testnet and the mainnet and the launchpads and the announcements of all these people that are going to be on the launchpads, and it's going to be on the mainnet and the blockchain, is going to be phenomenal. And we know that the chart is going to follow suit as well. So we're focused, we're dedicated, and, it's on. It's literally on. This is not a drill, history in the making. All right. So I'd like to go over to Deeban, the superstar, one of our amazing advisors, investors, so dedicated to the project, absolutely loves you guys, always talking about how great the community is and how our community is nuts and how we literally have one of the most strongest communities in crypto. When we told him about the launch,
this is very true. It's like, sorry to interrupt, but this is very true. Deeban is so praiseful of you guys. You don't want to know behind the scenes, but Deeban absolutely loves the EstateX community.
He's like, guys, do you know how great your community is? Do you know how great about Deeban? We know how great our community is, you know what I mean? So
we're saying it all these years.
So, but Deeban loved the idea of the Launchpad, and you'll understand the reason why. So I'm going to hand it over to Deeban to go into who he is, his background, and his experience with Launchpads as well, and why he knows so much about Launchpads and why he knows that we're in the perfect position to be one of the top Launchpads and definitely the top RWA Launchpad as well. So over to you, Deeban.
Yeah, for sure. Happy to, you can hear me, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, fantastic. Yeah, happy to give a bit about my background and then experience with Launchpads, and then why this is a bit different, because is a kind of a different take to Launchpads, whereas usually Launchpads are Web3 retail into Web3 DJing style projects to get access, right, to these projects. But actually, the way EstateX is positioning itself is there's massive institutional FOMO towards RWA and bringing liquidity and tokenization on chain, and there needs to be a way to do that. And EstateX is very well positioned to do that, particularly after such a successful TGE. You know, we've had messages from people you would not even expect to tokenize, right? And then your community is very, very, very strong. And so it's like, even when we were approaching, let's say, partners and trying to tell them about the project, the first thing I'd say is, look, just go into the community, spend a few days in there, and you understand why this is a bit different, right? And some people didn't believe that, and now they realize that that was the case, right? You guys are just so powerful. And so when it comes to new RWA projects trying to enter into this scene, community is very important, and you have that in spades. So I just want to make that point, which is this is a pathway for these institutions to come on chain, okay, which is what they want to do. So my background, so first I should basically tell you guys that don't do what we do and get some sleep. So my background is I'm a medical doctor. I also have a PhD in sleep medicine. Okay, so Steve can do it the 2.5 hours. I could not do that, but it's you know, make sure you're resting well and doing what you need to do. So that's my part. Around 2019, 2020, I was also investing private capital into Web3 projects, and around 2020 or so, Launchpad became a very strong meta, because the area was kind of guarded by VCs. VCs were getting into projects and community couldn't. And so one Launchpad grew, you know, gave access to retail to come into these projects. The token did very, very well. And off the back of that, a number of other Launchpads came. It became a very strong meta. And we were, let's say, advising or investing into most of these because the upside was very obvious. And then around into the bear market, kind of things cooled off because these deals weren't doing as well as they could have done in the bull market. A lot of people were then building new things in new niches to focus on particular verticals. However, fast forward to now, there isn't, let's say, a very, very strong, well-branded entity focusing on RWA. Okay, because if there is, we would know about it. And if there is, then these institutions approaching us now would be approaching them and not us. And EstateX is just that. Okay, and so just want to double down on the point, which is it's not just about Web3 retail coming into Web3 projects. That's not the major play. That is part of it, like the other Launchpads, but this is about bringing institutions on chain onto the EstateX blockchain and giving the pathway to do that, whilst also giving them access to a community. And that, yeah, that's why I'm super, super bullish and excited about doing this with you guys. And just for the community, before I forget, I want to make one last point, which is I was there at TGE. I was there pre-TGE, post-TGE, and I can tell you for a fact that team now are working like 10 times as hard now as they were pre-TGE because they can actually focus on the things that are important. And so, yeah, super excited about this journey and being a part of it.
Yeah, well said, Deeban. Well said. Thank you for that. And it's a really important point. You know, with crypto, there's a lot of great things about crypto, but there's a lot of, you know, bit of a love-hate relationship with crypto where what exchanges want to see and what other people want to see. And it's like leading up to launch, you have to half focus on your project, but half focus on what other the crypto people want to see that have no idea about your business, or a lot of them don't even know how to build businesses. So now we've kind of got our launch out of the way. We can focus on everything that we want to focus on, which is building a business, building a phenomenal company for you guys first. And then obviously, you know, everything else is just going to be following from that as well. As we always say, we're not a crypto company. We're a lifestyle innovation company that utilizes blockchain technology to go to the next level. So that's what we're focusing on. And that's what makes us so unique. And that's what makes us here for the long run, not just for, you know, a little pump.
Exactly. And I'll just say focusing on RWA specifically is very, very smart because the market opportunity there generally is absolutely massive. I think Bart tweeted about it yesterday. Some predictions that there's a $10 trillion total addressable market. And so even if we were to capture 0.01% of that, we're sitting on a unicorn, right? And so in one sense, you might say this $10 trillion is an over extrapolation, but for sure, the 0.01% of capturing that market share, we're definitely underselling ourselves there. So there's some give and take. And so if we can capture just a fraction of these institutions that want to come on chain, then we're sitting in a very, very good position. And like I said, if we can do this right, then when it comes to bringing RWA on chain, we'll be the protocol to be able to do that. and you guys have the legal framework. So super exciting, to be honest. A lot of work. Really exciting.
Yeah, love work 100%, but not even if we can do this right, when we do this right. You know what I mean? Because, you know, to add to what you're saying as well, and to really kind of put in perspective, yes, there's a big market out there. Yes, we can take a big chunk of that market. I believe we can take a slightly bigger chunk just on the basis of that. We're not only incubating projects, but we're showing them what really worked for us. There's so many things that we've done to be one of the highest staked ICOs in the market, to have one of the strongest families in crypto. There's so many things that we're doing that we can impart onto other good quality RWA projects, so that really when they come to launch, they can be launching with a much more high quality foundation type of thing. But then also the whole ethos of the blockchain, bringing the real world into RWA. There's a lot more that we're going to be doing. You know, when there's a certain percentage of RWA potential, it's not including a lot of sports teams, it's not including multi-platinum selling music artists, it's not including sports leagues as well. So we're actually going to be bringing the real world into RWA. Not only are we going to be converting a lot of, or a high percentage, but we're going to be increasing that almost kind of like FTV of the real world value, so to speak, as well. So the real world potential once we're done is going to be huge. And again, this is just one of the reasons why we're so bullish with what we're doing, and one of the reasons why we quite easily are going to be the #1 authority, humbly speaking, in RWA. So next on the agenda point.
And also to add to that, think about what that means in the long run for the utility inflow, right? For the 20 to 35% of revenue flow back that flows in, all the partners that come along with that, the publicity, the how many people will make use of our solutions, which then again has the revenue flow back, but also has the transaction fees and EstateX Pay and the rental income and the liquidity that's being put into the token, and how many projects will be building on the blockchain and the value locked then on the chain. Like, the potential here is so massive. And like Steve said, like people are stressing out about 2 days of sideways of a chart of a project that is just launched, which is just, it's so crazy sometimes to think about, because, you know, if you look at the long-term potential and everything that we've been building, and Steve, also to tap on what you said, you know, there's not a lot of competition, but there's not a lot of competition because we've already put 5 years of foundational work in. That is why there's not a lot of competition. That is why we're so well positioned. And then to be stressing about 2 days of price action is just sometimes beyond crazy, but it does show the interest that there is, and it also shows the potential that we have and the position that we're in, with everything still to be rolled out and the utilities to be rolled out. A lot of news coming about that very shortly, but it just shows what the potential is for the token, and how promising the situation is that we're in at the moment. And also with the market timing, the retail interest that still needs to come into the market, which is at absolutely zero. Obviously, all the institutions that are getting tokenized now. I mean, the train is leaving the station, and we have that timing, which is basically perfect for RWA. So we're in a very, very good position. So very promising sites here. Steve, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
No. I think it's a really good point. And to be honest, though, to give the majority of the EstateX family some credit, I believe that the majority aren't stressing. You know what I mean? The majority, I've seen a lot of
the core EstateX family is not stressing. They know what's happening. Yeah,
I've seen them jumping in, defending like, guys, we're building a real company here. This isn't just a pump and dump. You know what I mean? We're not trying to make profits for 1 week. We're trying to make profits for a lifetime. We're trying to make thousands of you guys millionaires. You know what I mean? Like, we're trying to get this to, I know legally I can't say what number I wanted to get it to, but, you know, I want dollars, you know what I mean? Not financial advice, but with some of the things that we have in place, don't worry about. I'm not saying it from a legal point of view, you know what I mean? It's just like, you know, I'm a person who likes dollars type of thing. That's all I'm saying. I'm just telling the people I like dollars. I'm just telling the people I like dollars. But at the end of the day, you know, all jokes aside, this is not a drill, and obviously not financial advice, but we're not in it for 2 cents, you know what I mean? So like, guys, you know, you're in good hands. Do not worry about that. Do not worry about that. The next month or two is going to be extremely, extremely interesting. We also are like on a Sunday, just with one little move, how quickly things can change and shift. We're about to be putting that on steroids really, really soon. And that's going to be from us, not just kind of like just trying to just announce one quick fix or one quick KOL. It's actually building these business pillars, launching out and actually becoming that authority, which is what we're going to be doing very, very soon. And there is a massive gap in the market, even just from Launchpad points of view as well. We've seen Launchpad, we've dealt with Launchpads We know the positives of Launchpads. We know the negatives of Launchpads. You know, there's some amazing Launchpads out there that we've worked with, and you know, there's going to be some amazing partners. One in particular that we're going to announce next week, which is going to be really, really bullish for the Launchpad side of things, which is phenomenal. And as Deeban said, we've been the level of CEOs and high-level people from all different projects and all different organizations that have reached out to us and really bigged up the launch and bigged up the project and bigged up what we've done is phenomenal. You know what I mean? But we're staying humble, we're staying grounded. As we said before, the job's not done, the job's barely even got started. But from a Launchpad point of view, I just don't know how Launchpads overall lost their way. And we're talking from a consumer point of view. We're not talking from a Launchpad point of view now. We're talking from a project point of view. You know, as we know, we're a company built by the people for the people, and anything we do, we're always thinking about that target audience. And now our target audience is other projects like us. We know where these Launchpads are slipping up. We know where these Launchpads are being greedy and selfish. We know where these Launchpads are just potentially damaging projects as well, dare I say. We've worked with a lot of Launchpads. We've rejected deals with Launchpads. We've walked away from a lot of Launchpads, as you guys know, and we don't regret it at all. I don't know where it went wrong, but Launchpads recently have just become sell pressure, literally. A lot of these people aren't in it for the long term. A lot of these people aren't looking to hold. I really have never got this refund policy situation. Like, how are you going to bet like on a football game and then your team loses and you can get a refund? It's just, I get it. It seems good for the short term for you as a customer, but it's not, because it's like the quality of the projects because of this is dropping. The fact that people can refund is bringing so much sell pressure to these projects. And then, you know, the good projects aren't looking to kind of go on a certain Launchpad because obviously they know it's actually bringing those sell pressure. There were so many people that missed out on public crown with EstateX because we just didn't decide to go too much or give too much big allocation on Launchpads. Now, if the Launchpads would have came correct, we would have gave 3 times the allocation on Launchpads. There'll be so many more people that would have had ESX at that Launchpad unlock. So, you know, enough's enough. We're making a stand. With our Launchpad, there's not going to be refund policies. With our Launchpad, there's not going to be low quality projects. With our Launchpad, it's only going to be the best of the best projects, RWA projects, and projects that are also incubated by us as well, that actually have the seal of approval, but also we're going to be taking them to the next level. We want to be making sure that we have 100% success rate or a 90% success rate of successful launches coming from our Launchpad. It's not enough just to come on our Launchpad and just tick all the boxes and then we launch you, we get tokens, we get commissions, whatever situation is. It's like, no, we want to hold your hand through launch. We want to let you know what's worked for us at launch, what's worked for us as an RWA company, what hasn't worked, what lessons that we had do not, and obviously for them to be able to learn from those situations so that they can actually benefit from that as well. That's something that a lot of Launchpads aren't doing. You know what I mean? They're not actually really helping the project in that way. Some are, don't be wrong, we're not here to be shitting on all Launchpads. We're just saying the general landscape of Launchpads. But the fact that we are RWA and taking on RWA projects, it's obviously phenomenal. And then obviously the next step is for them to actually be onto our blockchain as well, and so on and so forth. And Bart can go into some of the utilities and the trading pairs later on. But like we said before, there is that need for shakeups, and there is a reason why a lot of people aren't trusting certain Launchpads, but we're here to be able to change that. And like I said, there are some good Launchpads out there, and EstateX is definitely going to be one of them. Is there anything else, Bart, that we need to discuss before we actually reveal the name and the branding? Or because I'm eager to show the family, but is there anything else that we want to discuss before that?
Yeah, there's just one quick thing that I'd like to add to that, is that the projects that we will dive into that as well once we announce all the details. But the projects that we take on need to have the potential to be a winner. But when working with us, we'll make sure to turn them into a winner. You know what I mean? That is what this Launchpad is for. The Launchpad is not for, looks great, let's give our users a refund option to dump everything and then give them a massive unlock and the money back and we're safe. We're here to cooperate and to create something that's valuable for everyone, for the investors to be in there long term. I think one thing that is so unique about the Launchpad that we're going to be launching is that our audience is so long-term focused. You know what I mean? It shows in the staking results. It shows in how much faith they have and how long they've been here within years of pre-sale. It shows the long-term mindset that we have. So the audience that we bring to potential projects is really quality RWA, long-term focused. And we want to be aligned with those projects as well, that they have done the basis, they have done the foundational work, but with everything that we have in-house, the tech, the marketing side, the community, the fundraising capabilities to really push them to the next level. So it needs to be that win-win-win situation for everyone, win for the investors, win for us, and also above all, a win for the project. Because if the project does well, we're able to facilitate them in that regard, then we're all winners here.
And I think now I know you want to speak about it later, but I think now would be a good time, Bart, to talk about the use cases and remind people of the use cases and the fact that this Launchpad isn't just for incubating other projects. Ultimately, it is to be driving the price of EstateX in the right direction. We have some amazing utilities and use cases.
100%. You know, it all again is powered by EstateX. It drops, you know, down to EstateX once again. And if we think about the utilities, what we're actually going to be launching, and we'll be announcing this next week together with the massive partner that we're working with that will amplify everything that we do. You know, the marketing possibilities, the raising possibilities, the reach possibilities, everything. It's a massive partner that we're going to be cooperating with. And you know, if we look at use case wise, you're talking about obviously the staking tiers, right? You need to stake a certain amount, so people will be buying EstateX off the market, stake that, lock that for a certain period, and then make sure that they're able to participate in these hottest winner potential RWA projects that will be incubated by EstateX to push them to the next level and really make a difference in the RWA world. So this obviously reduces circulating supply and also increases buy pressure. Obviously, this is a very standard Launchpad method, but it's definitely something that we include because it works, right? And it's another great use case for EstateX. Furthermore, if we talk about something that has actually came from a great idea from Deeban, is the EstateX trading pairs. Love that idea. So we'll be including an EstateX trading pair for every project that launches on the Launchpad, and this massively amplifies the reach and the possibilities, because you need to imagine if these people bring their audience, one, it's good for the staking because it means that we can tap into another audience. Let's say a project has a big audience, we'll make sure that, you know, they get to make use of our audience, but the other way around as well, right? So EstateX and also EstateX grows along with that because it's again a win-win situation here. But it also means that new people that maybe didn't even buy into the route but want to buy their project later on because it has so much potential and it's promising, they'll be able to see the EstateX trading pair, make use of the EstateX trading pair, increases buy pressure again to trade with it. So I think it was a terrific idea and amplifies the reach and amplifies basically what we do as well. Another great use case is obviously the potential to build on the EstateX blockchain, which is another great use case. And obviously, you know, we stick to the 20 to 35% of the revenue. So obviously, the bigger the projects are, the more audience to bring, the more VCs that Steve talked about that we're cooperating with that want to make use of these prime opportunities. Obviously, EstateX takes a commission out of that, and with that commission will be partly used to buy EstateX off the market again. So a lot of use cases on this additional RWA Launchpad. Like in the beginning, there was like, how does this amplify what we do? Why does it make sense? But it makes sense because it fits in the all-in-one RWA authority narrative, where fundraising is such a big part. And obviously with the community building incentivization that we do, massively makes sense. And then also tapping into the audience of the projects massively makes sense. And then for the EstateX use cases, it enhances the use cases again, massively increasing buy pressure. So a lot of upsides here. Deeban, is there anything you would like to add to that?
I was going to add. I agree with all of that. I think the trading pairs add a lot of utility. So do the blockchain. There's some things we need to tease out on the tokenomics, but huge opportunity there. I just want to point to one thing in terms of kind of existing Launchpad policies, which is because Steve and Bart, you've been so honest in your approach, you'd assume that everyone is like you. Right, in terms of, you know, we're doing our best for this project and therefore we should get the best out of you guys as well, and that's something that makes you guys literally very, very unique, right? And so a lot of these Launchpads had to implement these type of policies because not everyone's like you. It's actually very, very rare, particularly in Web3, to have a team that are so ambitious, driven as you, and you've made big promises, but you've done what you've said, right? And I know you're going to continue to do that. And so they implement the policies to protect the community. And so I can empathize with that approach. But what you're doing is now putting your approach and assuming that the people that are going to come and launch through you guys, they need to be doing the same as you. So they need to be stepping up like you guys. They need to be putting the effort in, and therefore they'll get a good deal out of your Launchpad because they're working as hard as you guys are working. And so the quality of projects are going to come, but with a particular focus on RWA and a very strong business model. That's what you will be bringing to the community. And because you're doing that, you can then afford to take away some of these provisions that other Launchpads have, so that you can focus on the quality of launches that are going to happen. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of make that point as well, which is because of your approach, because of the institutional, and I'm seeing this, right? Even I'm getting messaged by, hey, can we tokenize this hospital or do this? And that did crazy things, right? And so because of the quality of projects that we're going to get and the business models that they'll have, we can afford to give them a good deal, which is in the best interest of you guys, that project that wants to tokenize, and also the community, because we know the projects will do well. So yeah, wanted to just make that point.
Yeah, no, I think it's a really good point. And we're also, to add to that, we're heavily incentivized for these projects to do well because we want them to do well on our blockchain after they launch on the Launchpad as well. So, sorry, 1 second. So the call come through. We want to do well after on our blockchain as well. So it's obviously a win-win situation for everybody. And as you guys can see what we're building. And I saw a comment in the group just now, and just want to just be clear: we're not trying to make light of the chart price or whatever the situation is. Most people do think after a good launch, stabilizing at a 5 to 6x is good. Obviously, as we said before, the job not done for us. But from our humble opinion, if we're looking to be the authority in RWA, if we're launching a Launchpad for RWA, if we're launching the blockchain for RWA, most people who have invested into EstateX have invested into the use cases, the utilities, into the ecosystem. And as we're rolling out the ecosystem, you guys have seen the very aggressive roadmap that's happening this quarter, Q4 and Q1 as well. So it's from my opinion, my humble opinion, it's not about where the price is at now. It's about what are we able to roll out these things, how quickly are we able to roll out these things, and then what happens to the price after we roll out these things. So it's completely up to anybody who wants to obviously be in it for the short term, but anybody who really understands EstateX and understands that we're different than any other RWA project, why the co-founder of USDT is backing us, why the CEO of Remax England and Wales quit his job specifically to be the CEO of EstateX Web 2. There is a reason for that, and it's not to be 1 or 2 weeks after after the launch. Respectfully, it's at least wait till we've launched the blockchain, at least wait till we've launched the Launchpad, at least wait till we've rolled out all of the things that we started to do. And now we're in the post-launch, as Deeban said, we can focus on doing what we need to do, and it's looking extremely, extremely good. So as we said before, we're not making light of the situation, but we're very, very happy with the situation because we're not following the chart, we're following the roadmap, we're following the ecosystem, what we're building out. And us incubating some amazing projects onto the Launchpads, we have to make sure that they do well because we want them to do well onto our blockchain as well. And as you guys can see, the utilities for the blockchain, the utilities for the Launchpad, a massive part of it is flowing back into the ESX token. Everything that we're doing is considering your guys' investments, is considering ESX, which is the lifeblood of all of this. Everything that we're doing has amazing utilities and use cases to flow back into the ESX token. So we're really, really excited.
It's an opportunity cost. That's why a lot of people are joining you guys, because if they're not here, then the opportunity that they'll potentially miss out is huge because you're positioned. And it's like in a property, like a lot of people are tokenizing property now, and it's becoming easier to do this. And you guys are already ahead of the curve with this. But then in those other verticals, and Steve, you mentioned some of those stuff, you've got the opportunity to take a big share of a much smaller market quickly. And those things are just waiting for regulation to change. And if you're positioned perfectly, and I would just say one point, there is actually competition in RWA. There is competition. You just don't see it because you guys are here now. You're kind of ahead of the curve. And so it's hard to catch up with that. But it's an opportunity cost because as regulations change and make more of these niches conducive to tokenization, then the question is, how are they going to seamlessly be able to tokenize? And what is the route to do that? They just Google it or ask a friend and people will tell them about EstateX. So you guys are there. And that's why a lot of people are jumping on this bandwagon too, because they want to be a part of this. And that doesn't even take into account the opportunity in real estate. Let's say in Dubai alone is massive. And AI service provision is also huge. It's going to contribute 50 bill to the GDP. And so there's all of these things that you guys are doing. And because of the fact that you've consistently done it already, we know that you're going to continue to achieve. And so people want to be a part of that journey.
100%, 100%. And we definitely agree that there is competitors. And we just, when you analyze the competitors, we just don't see them doing half the things that we're doing, you know what I mean? And I say that in a respectful way. So yes, in a way they are competitors, but when you don't see them doing what we're doing, and obviously you don't see them putting the foundation the years that we put in, then we do see that really, really clear opportunity, which is exciting, which is really exciting. But we're looking to grow RWA. We're not looking to just compete with everybody. We're looking to use our authority to bring in amazing projects through the Launchpad, through our blockchain, and just take RWA to the next level. And as I said in previous AMAs, it's such a big, important responsibility, because I believe that RWA is that niche that is going to bring in the Sharons, the Tracys, the people that have nothing to do with crypto, and they can actually just be purchasing crypto in Web3 with the online shopping, whether it's, you know, buying sports tickets, downloading the musician's favorite artist, or, you know, buying a fraction of a property. We have that ability to do that now. We spent the years on that platform, that seamless transition. And I think it's phenomenal, because we know that Bitcoin will get to, it's great, it's getting to an all-time high. We know it's going to get to 500,000. We know it's going to get to 1 million beyond, but we can't expect it to get there with the same people just buying and selling. We need fresh people into crypto. And I believe that good RWA projects, not just us, other good RWA projects besides us, or ones that we incubate, are going to help bring more of that Web2 market into crypto and help grow Bitcoin. And that's obviously going to seep out onto the altcoins as well. So it's just a massive responsibility that we're doing it. And this is why we're not, slowing down. It's just bigger than us. And we can't wait to show everybody, really. But actions speak louder than words. So, yeah.
You're pushing the space. You're pushing the space forward, and you're bringing more people into it. And you're sending that straight back into ESX token utility, which is massive.
100%.
Perfect. All right.
Time.
Let's do the big review, guys, ladies and gentlemen, because we've been talking for 40 minutes, but it's time to
So I just want to preface this. So while Bart gets it ready, so preface this that obviously it's our it's a RWA Launchpad. We want it to be similar style to EstateX, but different as well. So obviously, we want it to like same but different. We want it to be different enough, but we don't want it to be looking like a completely alien, different brand. And then also the name as well. We want to think about mass worldwide adoption, just like with the blockchain, just like with everything that we're doing with the Launchpads and everything else. We want to be for the masses. So obviously with the name, we're thinking big, we're thinking masses, we're thinking number one authority. And then obviously, without further ado, do you want to show the video, Bart?
Yes, sir.
Just a little 10-second teaser video for you guys. More to come next week.
All right. Let me see if I can open up this. Okay, you guys see this?
Not yet.
Here
we go.
I should be able to see it. Let me see if I can make the screen bigger. And the full screen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Because here comes it. I'll press start in 3, 2, 1.
RWA pad. So we want to make sure we're absolutely set ourselves up and keep it on there, but we'll do a rewind. We'll show it one more time as well. We're going to be called RWA pad. Yes, we thought about a few different names, but if we want to be that authority, if we want to be number one, if we want to be something that doesn't just appeal to people that know about EstateX or ESX, but it's RWA, we want to be that authority. So anybody who thinks about RWA, anybody who thinks about Launchpads in RWA, then there's only going to be one choice, and that's RWA pad.
Exactly. I mean, the name is fitting. The name catches. It's something that is very, speaks to the imagination. And like Steve said, we thought about different names, but we think RWA pad just makes the most sense. Is that number one thing, where do you go for RWA launches? RWA pad, right? It's that simple. It clicks. And Steve, do you want to tell a little bit about the logo as well? Because That's also been a little bit of
yeah. So as I was saying at the start, we wanted it's kind of like, as you can see, like with the EstateX house logo type of thing. So it's that similar kind of logo style, that logo family, so to speak, and even the fonts as well. So we want it to be kind of like similar, but obviously it's different as well. So obviously you can see remnants of an R in there, you can see remnants of an A in there, and like I said before, and we wanted it to be same, but different, so to speak. So something that kind of like stands strong by itself, but also something that still is in line with obviously the EstateX family and what we're doing as well. Deeban, obviously I know you have a big marketing background, and Bart, do you want to actually use the PDF? You want to show the PDF of the different versions of the logo? But Deeban, I'd like to get your thoughts from your marketing background, and obviously we respect your opinion as well.
Yeah, so I think there are a number of different options you could have gone with. The obvious one was EstateX Pad, ESX Pad, which focuses on your brand, growing that brand. But RWA Pad, I agree with you, has kind of global appeal. And I think from a search engine optimization point of view, you're going to be top. And then from a strategic positioning point of view, again, makes total sense, right? And then if anyone's trying to take the domain, it's taken, so don't bother. And I'm surprised it was available, to be honest, which was absolutely insane. And so yeah, I think it's pretty exciting. Pretty exciting. And you have domain authority, you have brand authority, strategic authority, and so the remaining part is just to execute. So yeah, agree with the approach. I think it's very exciting.
All right, excellent. Sounds good. Right, so next agenda point, Bart.
Yeah, let me see if I can find the PDF so I can show it to the people quickly.
Yeah.
I don't have it here. How much you said it with the announcement or something like that?
Yeah, we can pin it with the announcement. But
yeah, sure. All right. Yeah, next agenda point is to go over a little bit of the ins and outs of the Launchpad quickly. So something that we've touched upon briefly, obviously, is the quality standards. We want to make sure that we have the absolute highest quality of projects on the RWA pad. And this needs to be projects that actually have built their foundation, projects that have have the right audience, the right structures in place, the right partners in place, that have been through the necessary time that is required to set up a proper RWA project. As we've experienced, this is not an easy job. This takes a lot of effort, man hours, perseverance. So RWA is definitely I think probably the toughest sector, but also the sector with the most potential. So we want to make sure that the quality is there, and obviously it needs to be a win-win. So it's great if we can tap into an audience of another project. It's also great if those projects have unique selling points or do something that's really revolutionary, really special, have the right backing, etc. So we make sure to only select the highest quality of quality. And like I've said before, if there's a short period of time where there isn't any quality, we won't launch a project, right? We want to make sure that we only have the best of the best. That's so important for our investors, for our users, and also to make sure that we reward the best projects that there are.
100%. And just to add to that really great point as well, like when I speak to a lot of people, whether it could be community members or even just friends that are getting into crypto, out of 10 projects that they invest in, only like 1 or 2 go well. And we want, that to be opposite. We want, 80%, 90%, if not 100% of people that invest into an RWA pad project to actually do well with the investment. You know what I mean? And we're going to be doing strategic things in there that's going to be amazing for the investor, and that's also going to be amazing for the company as well, setting both up for success. We don't want to be a situation where we're whoring ourselves out, incubating any old RWA project. We need to make sure that they hit our standards to be able to enter into our blockchain as well, but also to be able to give you guys amazing investment opportunities. And obviously for the use cases that flow back into ESX, some very, very high converting buybacks for the ESX as well. So it's just so important that we have that prestige, and that's going to be one of the things that's going to make us the main authority in RWA, especially Launchpad wise.
100%. Deeban, did you want to say something?
Yeah, they need to bring critically volume onto the blockchain. And so for them to be accepted to be part of this community, they need to add value into the community and what's happening. And the predominant way of doing that is you need to show us how you're going to bring volume onto this blockchain, how you've done it, what your traction is, and then you show us ABC, and then we're going to times that by 10, right? Because it's going to help you, but it has to help us first and foremost. Because a lot of the launch pads, it's like, here you go, community, go join these other projects. And that's why they're so protective of the policies and various different things. But with you guys, it's high quality. You have to bring volume to our blockchain, no nonsense stuff. So yeah, really important.
100%. And then to touch upon the next subject, if we're looking about, let me switch around up here, but let me talk about some of the unique features. What we're also going to be doing is, obviously, we have one of the highest staked ICOs on the market. So many, 55% of pre-sold tokens locked for an average of 7 years. Amazing long-term incentivization. And what we want to be doing for these very high quality RWA projects that launch on it is we want to also be making staking incentivizations for these projects, which is better obviously for the project, but it's also better for the long-term commitment from the investors, and also make sure that we bring that quality audience and that the quality audience participates in these offerings that we have, right? That's something that obviously we've touched upon many times, makes us very unique. So we're also going to be doing staking incentivizations within these rounds. Obviously very quality community building via our quality audience, which staking incentivization is one part of it, because obviously it makes the investors more intrigued to be a part of their project long term. But also with other incentives, we'll be making sure to do community quality building, grow massive audience, just like we've been able to do. Obviously investment policies we've touched upon. If we're looking about timelines,
and just on the audience as well, before we go to the subject, then obviously the project that we're incubating, their audience, and obviously EstateX is going to be a big part of that, their audience is going to become our audience as well. So every time we obviously are boosting somebody else's audience, it's going to be adding to the EstateX family, which is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. It's just going to be this massive, massive snowball effect as well, where we're going to clearly have the biggest community in RWA, and we're going to be aiming to have one of the biggest communities in crypto, period, with some of the strategies that we're doing and that we're going to be rolling out as well. So it really is going to be a win-win-win from an audience point of view, which is obviously going to be great exposure for ESX and obviously great for the charts as well.
100%, great point. If we're talking about timelines, we'll have some news very shortly, and we actually expect to announce the first project this month. It's going to be announced, and we're looking at timelines to launch very, very shortly after the announcement of the first project. So obviously we'll follow the roadmap. We're rolling out the roadmap one by one, piece by piece, obviously in line. The ESX blockchain testnet is coming July 16th, and then after we see the first project announced, launching on it, and then we'll go over to the other pillars such as the investment platform, etc., etc. So we're rolling out everything very tactfully. And obviously, if you're looking about, because I've also seen people asking a little bit, different topic, but about these marketing catalysts. Obviously, marketing catalysts come with news. Like you can use a marketing catalyst and pay for marketing, for example, or use a KOL activation at a certain point. But it's always way better to do that with the business pillar rolls out, right? Because it creates hype, it shows proof of concept, it shows utility. And that is obviously what everybody's looking for. So you choose these moments very carefully and tactfully to be able to have the maximum effect, to be able to execute these things. So we're following the roadmap one by one, on track for everything, and promising to be one hot quarter. Can't wait.
100%. The rest of the year is going to look phenomenal. And we were actually going to do the RWA Launchpad launch a lot later in the quarter, but then when we're getting phone calls from VCs saying that they want to actually put money into the deal flow and the projects sooner, and they don't want to just wait for the public round, they want to actually get in an early rounds, and obviously we want to nurture and incubate them. We thought, well, why not launch sooner if we've got VCs? And by the way, these VCs have no idea who these projects are. They're just saying, you guys doing a Launchpad? we've seen your launch. Okay, we're in. You know what I mean? So it's like that's really, really
Trust
great.
so much. It's great. Yeah.
Yeah, really great confidence. And if the VCs are watching, you guys know who you are, and the conversation we had today and a few days ago. So yeah, we're going to be doing this a lot earlier now. We're going to be taking on projects a lot earlier, which gives us more time between now and our blockchain to incubate them. And a lot of these projects are going to be launching in Q4 anyway, or even in Q1. So yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting. And talking about VCs, talking about institutions as well, please keep in mind that you guys are majority retail investors, which is amazing position for us to be in. And as Bart mentioned, big strides in a project and big strides in the success of a project comes where you were like big announcements, big business pillars, and so on and so forth. We haven't even activated our institution money yet. I repeat, we have not activated our institution partners yet at all. What you guys see and this whole 5-6x stabilizing is purely mainly retail. Couple of whales, but mainly retail. There's so many whales, there's so many institutions, so many family offices. Remember, we was at the Global Family Office Summit. Bart did an amazing speech and was actually invited to go out to the one in Monaco as well, literally 2 weeks ago. We had to politely decline just because it was a week after launch, and we were done with all of the pre-launch hype, and it's like, now we've got to build. We ain't got time to be sunning ourselves in Monaco and networking. And yes, obviously it's great, but we've got stuff to build. But we've been invited back out at ones later this year in Miami. I think there's one maybe in Cannes or something like that as well. But the point I'm trying to make, once again, as I always say, not to impress you, but to impress upon you that we were at the Family Office Summit for a reason. We're speaking with institutions for a reason, and institutions have not even been activated yet. So it's not even, as we said before, it's the beginning of the beginning. And, it's not what we're doing before. It's about what we're doing now, and it's about where we're going, and everything is in place. And the fact that we're launching our Launchpad even ahead of schedule, it just goes to show that things are actually ahead of schedule as well. So we're very excited. We want you guys to be excited. It's looking absolutely phenomenal. And the feedback that we've been getting from institutions, from family offices, from big partners that we're going to announce next week that want to partner with us on the Launchpad, from VCs, about our launch, about our team, about our tenacity, is great. They say to us that you can tell a lot of people after a launch, whether it's a successful launch or not. You see them out on beaches, you see them traveling the world, you see them celebrating, all of that sort of stuff. We haven't even all linked up to celebrate yet, you know what I mean? Because we believe that, yes, we pat ourselves on the back and we're proud of the launch. Don't get me wrong, we're very proud of the launch, but at this moment, the job's not done. You know what I mean? And
I just realized, I don't think we've even congratulated each other. I don't think it has happened yet. It's like that
job's not done.
Wow,
you know what I mean? I'm proud of us, though. I'm proud of us. You know what I mean? I'm proud of us. Yeah. But there's a lot that we need to do, and it's the beginning of the beginning. But everything is going in the right direction. You know what I mean? So it's like, we're not one of these projects that it's going to get gassed by a launch and gassed by some numbers, and let these institutions and these CEOs and all these big project leaders that are constantly in our DMs gassing us up get to our heads. We're just not. We were proud of each other, and I remember I gave a speech. We all gave speeches after to say that, this is where the real work begins now. We've got so many people that have invested in us. We've got so many people that have trusted us. We've got so many people that have staked in us. We take that extremely seriously, and we cannot wait. And it's just us being the authority in RWA is a very, very serious role. And us obviously affecting the nature of crypto and bringing more Web2 people into crypto is a very, very serious role as well. We're not here for multiples at launch. We're not here to kind of move a chart in 1 to 2 weeks and be gassed about it moves up and moves down or whatever. We're here for what happens towards the end of this quarter, and in this quarter we're here to what happens in Q4. We're here what's going to be happening in Q1. You guys see the roadmap. I want you to scroll back up, go back. It's only 2-3 pin messages away. Look at the roadmap. This is what we're here for. This is what success looks like, and we are well on track.
Well on track. And with those words, ladies and gentlemen, so I think we've crossed everything on the agenda that we had today. So I'd like to give Deeban and you, Steve, the opportunity for some final closing remarks. Anything that you still want to add, or anything that you still want to cross over? And then now's the time.
Deeban, go for it. From my point of view, I've said what I've needed to say, and I'm just going to leave it at that. We're in a very, very, very good position. Go ahead, Deeban.
Yeah, I would just say that I would just give some information, because I'm obviously speaking with you guys, and so to all of the people listening, I can tell you you're in good hands. I know that I am also. Steve, Bart, Donny, everyone just working extremely, extremely hard. It's a long-term play in a big market, and we're positioned well, and I'm excited to be a part of it.
100%. And long-term in crypto is still only months. You know what I mean? Like, people are going to be seeing massive, massive shifts this month, next month, the month after, you know what I mean? So it's like a lot of people have looked at our roadmap and think, wow, like even if you did that in 2-3 years, that'd be phenomenal. To do that in 3 quarters is amazing. And we know that, you know, it looks like there's a lot to do, but believe me, a lot of that has already been done, 80-90% done. As Deeban said, as Bart said, we've been working 4 or 5 years behind the scenes so that there is no competition for what we want to do and where we want to go and how quickly we want to go as well. So yeah, we love you guys. As I always say, we're nothing without you guys. You guys have inspired us. If it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't have even been inspired to even have the audacity to say that we could do our own Launchpad. It's because of you guys, the EstateX family. You gave us that inspiration. We're like, we are strong. We can do this. We're stronger than a lot of other things that we see out there. Why not us do this? And why not make sure it flows back into the ESX token and rewards that? And why not incubate these products to come onto our blockchain as well? So thank you to you guys. You're inspiring us every single day. We're not going to let you down. We're going to continue to make you guys proud. And believe me, you haven't seen anything yet. We're only just getting warmed up. So
amazing. All right. With those words, I'm going to close it out. Just want to make a final statement. Like, guys, there's so much that we have laying ready in the background that still need to be announced. Like, so much. Like, you guys don't want to know what we've built up over the past time. I won't spoil it. I won't name any timeline, Steve. Relax, don't worry. But
that's right. The things that we haven't spoken about, the things that you guys have no idea that we're working on behind the scenes, and it's going to blow your minds. Just like you guys didn't know about the Launchpad was in the works until about a week or 2 ago. There's other things that's behind the scenes and complements what we're doing perfectly, and it's going to complement ESX perfectly as well. But we're going to announce it in good time, which is very strategic. As we always said, for want of a better phrase, we do not want to blow our load at launch. We want to be rolling things out to make sure that we keep things going in the right direction for the medium term, the short term, and also for the long term, most importantly as well. So these next few quarters are going to be phenomenal. And Bart, I'll let you finish.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you know, from the massive card provider to the institution that we're onboarding, from the tech that we've built, from the properties that are ready, from, you know, backers that we have not announced. Like, there is so much that we will roll out strategically with the right marketing catalyst that will just, you know, put this project into a whole nother perspective of what's possible. And these things have been laying around, these things we've been building. And you guys, you know, what we've announced is it's just the tip of the iceberg, guys. So it's looking good. Things are looking phenomenal, and I can't wait, ladies and gentlemen. So with those words, I'll close it out. Deeban, thank you very much for attending. I know it's very early for you and a little sleep, so really appreciate that. Definitely as a sleep expert that you've sacrificed your most precious thing. Really appreciate that. Steve, also many thanks to you for always being available and always being on these AMAs. And ladies and gentlemen, if there's anything that you need to know, you know where to find me. Send me a DM or tag me into the community. You guys know I'm always around, so I'll catch you guys there. See you later. Cheers.
Cheers, guys.